Hello and welcome to today's CPS WebTips. I am Nader Kapandi, process developer, and I'm here to show you how we can use JavaScript to manage your queries and rules. Here we are in an evolved solution I created for today's WebTips. The example I'm going to show you today is how we have a repeating table in a group show values that hosts 3 string datas. It has month, day, and year. I've added 2 data connections, 1 solution data library, and 1 SQL data library. Those 2 are hosted on the left and right, and we can query both of those by a single press of the button. So if I click Query SQL Data Library, we will get what's hosted in there, May 4th, 2020. If I were to click on Query SQL Data, November 18th, 2022. I'm going to clear the table here. Now let's say a developer or architect has the envision of, instead of having both buttons be activated to do one thing, we can have one button do both. So let's see what happens when you get both of those connections onto one button and see what the result is. We see that only one query was made. We clear the table, we can confirm that the STL data was May, SQL data was November. If we clear the table again and query both, we see November came through, signifying only SQL data went through. Now, if we clear the table, we have this other button, query.js for JavaScript. There's a very simple script we're going to go review today that shows how we can query both and have the results we are expected. Let's go take a look inside our solution and see how that works. Here in Evolve, we have the layout of our buttons and tables, our query elements, and our views. Up at the top, we have our 2 query elements. We have our solution data library, setting our fields onto our table. And we also have our SQL data query element here, doing the same exact thing. They are both set to run by invoked by a rule. On the left side, we have 2 buttons to query each element, the solution data library and the SQL data. These rules are very simple. They're baked in where you can execute query and select which ones you want. Same thing for SQL data. To be able to query both onto one button, let's go take a look at that rule. It is a custom JavaScript rule, and it has 2 lines of code that executes the queries by name. An easy way to get these is the first buttons we made to query each one by itself. If we go to the rule, here is our rule. We can click on the 3 dots on the top right, view JavaScript code, and here is that code we got. Quick copy and paste. Now, how do we fix the issue of having this button now running both our queries? Well, we have another button here. Take a look at that rule. Open up the query. And we see we have a function and 2 lines of code additionally. First line of code executes our first query we would like to run. As of right now, it is a solution data library. And the second one sets a value and calls the function above with the name of the function and how much time we would want after the first query has been run. So what this does is it runs a first solution data library, waits 250 milliseconds, a quarter of a second, and then it executes the second query. This script helps us to execute both of the queries we would like to make on one button. There are other ways around this, but it doesn't have the same effect. One is to have these run at start, and we have ordinals, so we can have them set to 1 and 2, though you don't have the control of using a button. Or as originally shown, you can have 2 separate buttons, but that defeats the purpose of having one singular button. Going back, we can show you by clearing the table that if we have the original way of having both of the JavaScript lines from these 2 buttons onto one rule, only one runs. By using our script, we have both running. This script can be manipulated to run other queries as you like, or rules if you run into an issue of queries or rules running too quickly for the other lines of code to run in the same succession. We hope today's CPS WebTips brings you ease and automation into your solution. Please visit us at Clear Process Solutions to get more info or contact us, and also subscribe to more WebTips for more information and helpful ways. Thank you.